Hello, everyone, ladies. So just to start with, there will be an introductory part, and I want to welcome everyone at this webinar. That is a part of our series of webinars for women and about women in ride-hailing. But this webinar is, of course, not only for women, and of course, not only about women. This webinar is about marketing. And this webinar will be useful for each and every business owner, for each and every marketer at the taxi or ride-hailing businesses, because we will talk about successful marketing strategies for ride-hailing companies. And my name is Lisa, and I'm a lead digital marketer at Ondi, and I'm going to moderate the webinar. So again, as I said, we're going to have a brief introductory part, then we will have our amazing presentations from our speakers from OTaxi, and I'm going to introduce ladies a bit later. During this presentation, you are free to leave your questions in the chat or in the Q&A box. Please do that. And because after this speech and after this presentation from OTaxi, we will have a Q&A session during which all of your questions will be answered. So please don't hesitate to leave your questions. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to share some special offers for you. So really make sure that you're staying till the very end. But before I'm going to introduce our amazing speakers, I want to give a little bit of context about our webinar. So, one of the main reasons why ride-hailing companies, and you know what, not only ride-hailing, but most of the companies, most of the new businesses fail is the lack of strategy and the lack of market understanding. And when I say market, I'm talking about competitors. I'm talking about this situation in the market. And the most important thing, I'm talking about customers. The lack of understanding of your customers, their pain points, their values is one of the main reasons why companies fail. This is extremely important. You need to understand them. You need to understand your audience and your customers, because to start using your services, customers need to kind of get this perfect match of rational and emotional reasons. So emotional reasons, I mean, they like your brand, they feel connected to your brand, they like, using your applications, and they like riding with your company. And when I talk about rational, they understand that it's really useful, it's really convenient to them. They like your cars, it's they get to their job like within a reasonable amount of time and everything like that. But to give your customers this perfect match, you really need to understand them. And based on this understanding, you are building your proper, right, fabulous marketing strategy. So how do you make one? How do you make this marketing strategy? And you start with actually understanding which people you serve, which niche you serve. This is the very first step. Then you're going to promoting your services, and your target audience, this group of people, they kind of become aware of what you offer to them, and they become aware that you can actually give them what they need, so you can cover their needs. And then at the next step, they learn more about your brand. And if you did everything right, and if you understand your customers, the values of their brand, of your brand, they see these values, and these values match with their values. So they feel connected, they feel this emotional connection. And this is how basically you find this match. You kind of marry rational and emotional reasons for your customers. The customers accept it, they get what they need from you, and they also feel connected to you, to your brand. And that's how you get basically paying, loyal customers that will stay with you for years. Then one of the most important steps is the very first step, basically identifying your niche. And basically finding this group of people that have something in common. You know, I'm sorry, I'm just, yeah. So that have something in common. And how do you do this? You do it by segmentation. So you have a big audience, you know, for example, all people that live in your area of operation, and you trying to find the exact kind of niche, the exact group of people you want to target. For example, if we're talking about students, it's going to be students, or it could be women, or it could be, I don't know, office workers, something, a group of people that have something in common. And you can use demographic factors, you can use social factors for that. You can use their needs, you can use their riding occasions and everything, why they need your services. For example, office workers, they may need your services to get to work. And that's how you kind of get this group of people. And that's how you basically, when you understand this, when you identifying your niche, you basically can tailor your services to approach this particular audience, because you understand why they need your services. And with understanding more about your niche, about this group of people, you can find out about their values, like what they value, what they want to get, like what is important for them. And, you know, just to give you and based on this, you basically build your promotion strategy. And, you know, different features and different things that you kind of provide to your audience, to your customers, they can be promoted differently, you know. For example, safety, you know, safety as a feature, it's really important for ride hailing, but promoting safety towards women in your location, in your particular area, is very different than promoting safety to man, again, even in your location. I'm not even saying about like different countries. If you operate in different countries, it's going to be a completely different thing, right? A completely different story. So today we will talk about a very, very special case of female, a ride-hailing service for women from the leading Omani company OTaxi, and we will talk about their marketing. You know, they started they launched a female more than a year ago, in March 2022, and they really they achieved incredible results. And they take hundreds of orders every day. And why? How did they make it? They did it with their marketing strategy. And I want to welcome our amazing speakers from OTaxi. Hello, ladies. So they will be telling you about this. Switch to the next slide. They will be telling you about their case, how they made it, how they became so successful. So first of all, let me introduce you Sheikha Abu Ali, Marketing Director and a Project Manager of the All-Female project. Hello, Sheikha. Yes, you're muted, but it's okay. Then we have Maimana MK, a marketing specialist, a graphic designer, a videographer, and a photographer at OTaxi. Hello, Maimana. Hey. And we have, of course, Marwa Al-Busaidi, a marketing and branding specialist at OTaxi. And I think, ladies, the floor is yours. I'm going to switch off. I'm going to stop sharing my presentation, and you're free to share yours. And while you're doing so, I just want to remind you guys that you're free to leave your questions again in the chat, in the Q&A box. We will answer all these questions after the presentation, and the ladies will be open to answer them. So feel free to share your questions.
Hello, everyone. I'm just trying to share the screen. Just give me 1 minute.
All right, I can see that chat, while ladies are preparing their webinar, I can see the chat is quite active. So I'm really glad to know that everyone is trying to connect with each other. This is really great. And we even have, we even have one question from I'm very sorry if I pronounce it wrong, Garima Gupta. We will definitely answer it. Okay, we have the presentation.
So yeah, as Lisa introduced us, we are like the marketing team of OTaxi. And this is basically the title of our presentation today, how to create a successful marketing campaign, taking the case of the all-female service lunch. Sheikh, I think I'm going to give you the mic here.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. As Lisa introduced a bit about marketing, I don't know, do you guys see me? Because I cannot see myself, so I think.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, good. Okay, all right. So I know a lot of people. First of all, thank you all for participating, and I hope that you get what you expected from this masterclass. I know a lot of you are wondering and curious about marketing in general and how campaigns are being successful. What are the formulas, and how can we do the marketing the right way? And I hope from our experience, our own experience in OTaxi, and especially with the female service lunch, to help you with this, to help you understand how we did it, and hopefully you learned from it. And as they say in Arabic, we say اسأل مجرب ولا تسأل طبيب. I'll try to translate it. It says, don't ask an expert, but ask someone who experienced it. So from our experience, we are telling you these things after like 5 years. Okay, so today we will present about how to create a successful marketing campaign, especially the all-female service lunch case study. Okay, let's go next. I will tell you a bit about marketing, about OTaxi. OTaxi is a one-click taxi service connecting taxi drivers to anyone who wants a ride through OTaxi app. We have a lot of services. We have the economy service, we have the van, the all-female, which we are going to talk about today, and luxury service, as well as the premium. All of these products have been developed through all the years. And yeah, here we are with almost 5 services. Let me jump a bit about what are the things that we really want to highlight in this masterclass. So we want to highlight the importance of data and why it always starts and ends with data. Second, we want you guys to see the problems as opportunities. And third, marketing is all about recognizing the customer's needs. And I want you guys to keep this in your mind as we go. We will explain why this is important. Okay, let's go next. First of all, customer insights. Okay, so as I said, it starts always with data and it ends with data. We should really make data the decision-making resource, or source, because in our case, for example, in OTaxi, the female taxi started with this data, okay, with this piece of information. We saw that we have a lot of male customers, but we don't really have a lot of female customers, and we started to question why. But it starts with this piece of information, and then we dig deep down on how we can. Do you guys hear us? Because I think
no. I see
okay.
You here. Yeah.
Okay. As I said, with this piece of information, we started to understand why, and this data in general is valuable because it builds this strong relationship with the customers. Okay, and I will tell you, for example, in this case with the female taxi, we were like taking calls from the call customers. We were really not like that formal with the customers, you know. We were a bit friendly, talking about, okay, what do you expect more from OTaxi? Do you want something different from OTaxi? So this kind of relationship with the customers gets you the data that you want to. So from there, with this piece of information, another piece of information from a random female customer, she was like, oh, why don't you guys have a female taxi? We would like to have that. And then another call, and then another piece of information from another source. So all of these data, you have them, and then you start to connect dots. Then, okay, there is a problem in the market, as we can see from different sources. Let's capture these data and let's start to create something out of this thing, okay? And of course, with all of these things, you will start to understand what are the challenges that these female customers are having, and then you start to overcome these challenges based on the data, okay? So I will tell you something that is really, really important. Always start with the data that it's coming from the customers. Understand and identify the data from the customers, and then analyze these data with the customers to have a marketing campaign for the customers. So you see, these data are there from the customers to the customers, okay? And don't ever just assume things. Don't assume problems. Don't assume why problems are there. Do not just take your friend's point of view, your mom, your whatever, you know. Just go back to the customers, understand them, and build a good relations with them to have the data. Okay. Next is about the problems, and then how these problems are should be considered as opportunities. Can we go next, Marwa, please? Okay, so problems are always opportunities, okay? Identify them and define them with the customers, as we say. And then you develop a marketing research from there, okay? But you should understand that there is a problem in the beginning by talking to the customers, okay? So for example, in OTaxi, because we have done a marketing, a questionnaire overall, and then we get to know more and more about the female taxi. So we knew these things that are not in mind, like the female in Oman, because maybe it's a cultural thing, they were embarrassed to use embarrassed to use the taxis, the regular taxis, because culturally it's not appropriate. It's not that you don't. It looks like you're, you know, not in that class. Also, one of the problems that they are facing is neglecting the maintenance of private buses, because we don't have private buses. We don't have public transportations usually, so we don't have proper system for transportations. Some parents as well, they don't like, or they reject the fact that their daughters, mothers, wives drive. So we have this cultural influence as well. And there is a need in the market because of all of these problems that are mentioned in the questionnaire, which was the purpose of this questionnaire is to understand the customers, which means understand the problems. After this, we start to go with the marketing, dig deep down with the marketing research, and then we start developing and starting the execution, basically. Next. From the analyzing phase and doing the marketing research, we have here the we have a saying in OTaxi overall. It means, which is, don't reinvent the wheel, just realign it. When we knew that there is a problem, which is there is no female taxi, or there is a need for a female taxi in Oman, we here understand that there is a need. Then, because there is a need, then okay, what happened on like overall in the world? Is there something globally happening the same? Are women in general having this problem. And then we started searching globally and how did they fix this problem. And then we realign it with OTaxi in Oman. So we realign it with, are we capable of doing such thing? Okay, is Oman capable also as a system in doing such thing? Okay, so and based on all of these data, we started to again analyze how we can implement the female taxi. Can we go next? Okay, we've done, as I said, a marketing questionnaire in general about the female taxi. The number of participants of the questionnaire were 500 women. 76% out of them, it turns out that there is a gap of 76% women are willing to use the female taxi. 78% of the women that are participating in the questionnaire said that they are willing to ride with a branded identity, so it can be pink taxi, because in Oman as a government, they don't allow the private cars to be the private cars in ride hailing. It should be branded. So also this was a challenge. So we asked our customers, are you willing to, if we are going to brand the car? Okay, it turns out they are willing to. And then we have 40% of the targeted segment say that they are willing to pay a bit more, and 62% of the targeted segments are living in Muscat, which is the capital which is Oman capital, where we are operating as OTaxi. Okay, may I ask something, please? I don't know, is it now or at the end?
So Zine, please share your questions in the chat or in the Q&A section, and we will answer them later.
Okay. Can we move forward? Because of the questionnaire as well, we analyze the data by segments. Okay, so we have behavioral segments, we have psychological segments, demographic segments, and then geographical segments. All of these data have helped us a lot at the end on how to target these people, because here we understand who they are, where they live, what is their what is their purchasing power, what is their mindset of like riding with the female taxi. So having the segmentations will help you later on, but it always starts with the data and analyzing them that you are getting from the customers. So for example, the behavioral segments, we have who are they? So female employees, students, kids, parents. The psychological segments, women that really care about their safety and their privacy. The women that care about like their kids being picked up and dropped off from school to home. People who like experimenting new things, people who like using technologies, and demographic segments, which was the female who are single, married mothers, women with middle and high income geographical segments, people who are living in Muscat, which is, as I said, where we operate, and possibly the other regions that are close to Muscat as well. Okay, next. The objectives of the female taxi. So after all the analysis and all the marketing research, we wanted now to go to the government to convince them that, because this was a new thing with OTaxi, okay, with not just with the OTaxi but also in Oman. Okay, so because of these things, we have to align our objectives to the government objectives, which is very, very, very important. You cannot really expect a lot of like pinkish objectives and expectations, and then when you go to the government and and introduce the idea, it's in another word. You have to align the objectives, all right? So we started to convince them by the objectives that we know that they should be convinced with. So we know that having the female taxi will create job opportunities. We know that having the female taxi will bridge this market gap, which is the need for the female taxi. And we know that it will encourage as well investments, because especially in the transportation sector, which is something that the government is interested in Oman. And we know that it will create the added value to the national economy, as it's a new technology, a new method of transport in Oman. And with this, we created this vision of finding solutions to the transportation problems facing women in Oman and Omani society, as well as creating the job opportunities and empowering women in Oman, which is all of it a vision of Oman as well. So with all of these things happening, we finally, after 2 years, we finally, after 2 years, got the approval. After literally fighting for 2 years, going and coming back, because this thing is not easy at all. The level of the hard work and the convincing the government to have such service in Oman with all of the data that we had have helped us a lot. But it depends on the country. In Oman, it was a bit hectic, I would say, because it's a new project, but it's also a new project for women. So it's something that the government is concerning about the privacy, the security factors, and all of these things in general. So yeah, this is how it is. So I want to sum up this section by saying that starting with data, understanding the data and analyzing it, and coming up with a conclusion, it should go all through the customers. It's all about the customers. So it should start with the customers. And then at the end, going also to the stakeholders, which in this case is the government. You don't go and say, oh, I want to have this new idea, which is amazing, and I do believe in it. No, show the data that you have to convince the government, and also realign your thinking to the government's government's way of thinking as well. So this is how it ends as approvals, but then it continues with the marketing campaign, which I will leave the floor to Marwa. By the way, my name is Sheikha, but it's written here Marwa. I don't know why. But yeah, let's go to Marwa.
You love me. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you, Sheikha, for the presentation. So we're gonna continue this after all the work that was done in terms of the data, the analysis and everything. And after the approval, of course, right now we need to do the next work. And here it comes the marketing mix. The marketing mix, it's like a set of elements that companies uses to influence the needs of those target customers. It consists of the general P's, which are the 4 P's: product, price, place, and promotion. And also it extends to 7 P's when it comes to the services. But generally, these are the most important 4 P's that you can use to make even the process more efficient and more effective. And we're going to go through it more when it comes to the all-female launching campaign. Yeah, so when it comes first with the product or the service, of course, at the beginning we wanted to make sure that we are delivering the right products with good quality and everything. This was in the picture the identity of the female taxi, of course, with pink and everything. So yeah, so at the beginning, before you actually like launch your product or service or anything and start those marketing campaigns and so on, you need first to make sure that you're actually delivering the promise that the promise for the customers. So at the beginning, what we did is that we wanted to ensure the quality of the service. So we started first with the process of registering the drivers, training them to use the application, and especially that it was actually new for women to actually drive taxis. So we really tried to focus on the process, making sure that everything is going fine, doing different kind of tests. And of course, after the training and everything, also we help them in terms of painting the car and so on. After this, when things are started to go well, here it comes to define what are you going to do to let people actually to know about this service. So here it comes the marketing campaign and like the launching for the service, which we're going to talk more about it later on. The second P is the place. So the place, it describes like the channels that you use, or like the platforms that you use actually to deliver this product or this service. So of course, the service is going to be in the application. So it was already added in the app with the pink car. And when it comes to where this service is going to be located in the country, we decided first to start it in Muscat, which is the capital city of Oman. And that was for different reasons, away from the fact that like based on the research results, 62% of those targeted groups are actually based in Muscat, and this city, like it has the highest population, and there is like the centralization of the government, the private employers in Muscat government, which makes it like the best place to start such a service. So that's why we started it there. And then when it comes to the third P, which is the price, of course, there are different tactics or different strategies of how can you define the price, which is like the cost of using the service or the product. So yeah, as I said, there are different kind of strategies. Sometimes it depends on the costs of making the product or the service itself, and so other things. But here what we did for the service, even though based on the results of the questionnaire that 40% of this target group are like even willing to pay extra to get such service, but we decided to start this the service with the same like the original, or let's say the economy service in OTaxi. And that's basically because people here in Oman are really price sensitive. This is first. And second, because this is like a new concept and like it's a new service, we didn't want to make it like too high so that people will really like hesitate actually to use or like to try the service. Yeah, so that's why we stick with the same economy price. But like in the later stages, we changed the price in one of the other regions, like after the expansion and so on. So yeah, it's like, it depends on like different variables of how can you actually define the price. After the price, it comes the fourth P, which is the promotion. And for the promotion, of course, here it comes the part of how you're going to advertise the service or the product to people, letting them know about it. We decided here to go with the 360 strategy. 360 marketing strategy is like a plan, a comprehensive plan that combines both the traditional marketing, like the offline marketing, and the online marketing, or like the digital marketing. So here it's like you are trying to target people in different platforms from different channels. Why it's important to do this? Because there are like different kind of audiences that you will find, for example, in the digital world. From those you can find like offline. for us, and not to just go in like one side. So that's why we did like a 360 marketing campaign, trying to focus on different channels. So away from the application itself, we tried to use influencers through social media, trying to do some digital ads on ground, like PR, CRM, and so on. Which we're going to talk more about it. And when it comes to promotion, there are actually like some steps that you can follow so that you can come up with like good ideas so that your campaign can be successful. So first of all, you need to start your plan with defined goals. You need to understand why you're doing this campaign. You need then to understand and define your target audience, and then you need to create the right message and to come up with ideas of how you're going to deliver like the message to these people. And then of course you start the execution and the implementation part, and at the end, of course, you need to measure the performance of this campaign. Is it really going well or not? So you need to identify, for example, the KPIs, and you need to analyze the results that you have. So in more details, when we go to the first step, and this was like before the campaign. So we start with you start your plan with a defined goals, and here we are really focusing on what is called the marketing funnel, which is like the purchasing cycle that consumers go through, and it really like simplifies the customer journey for the company to follow it. So here at the beginning, people they get aware about what you have, then they might start to consider it, then you can then acquire them, and after that, how can you make sure that they are actually using it, and how can you make them loyal for you? So there are different like tactics or activities that you can do in each stage. So for example, in awareness, you can, for example, use billboards, you can use social media, influencer marketing, printouts, many other different things. Also for the consideration, after they know about you, how can you make them actually like they have an interest on using your product or your service? And after that, when you already acquire them, what can you do? So you can, for example, do digital ads, you can still use influencers, you can start the CRM, trying to push them, giving them some kind of offers, just for them to actually use the application, for example, the application in our case. And then we have the retention. Okay, how can you keep this user with you? So you really need to manage the quality of the service or the product that you are offering. You can use some CRM tactics, trying to, for example, to boost them to actually use it, trying to give them some rewards. You can also do some retargeting ads. You can do different kind of offers, segmented offers. And it's like really a big world. There are different tactics of how can you do that. And at the end, we have the loyalty, in which you can do like a reward program, so that you can keep those users closer to you, so that they can keep using your service or like your product. So yeah, so here, after you identify what is your goal. So for example, here when it comes to the all-female service, of course, people, they still don't know that this service is here. So here it comes like, so the awareness is like the main objective here. Of course, the other things then it can follow through the journey. But yeah, for the all-female campaign, we can say that the awareness was like the most important objective here. So our objective in general, it was, of course, the new service official launch. We wanted to reveal the car for people, the pinkish car. We wanted to create a marketing buzz, because it's already like a new concept, and it's a big thing in the country that we can have this service. So we really want people like to know about this, keeping them talking about this. And of course, we need to increase more awareness, even when it comes to the female drivers, because of course we need more drivers so that we can at the end deliver the service well for the customers. Okay, so after you identify what is your goal, it comes the second step, which is understanding and defining your target audience. And here, like we can, let's say one of the tips that you can do is always try to be closer to your audience. How can you do that? There are different ways of how can you do this. For example, one of the things that we use is the social media. We always try to listen to customers and what they say. Sometimes even like in the post, they address some problems or some issues that can be like a potential or like an opportunity actually to improve the service. So sometimes you don't really need to do like a big research and do like a big investment. Like for example here, the case, because it was like a new service, we had to do like to go like extra mile and trying to like study the market, study the people and so on. But sometimes you can do like small things. For example, let's say you want to target students. So what can you do is that you need to identify what are the needs of the students, what are the pain points, the problems that they face, so that you can actually solve this problems by your product or your service. So yeah, there are different things that you can do, trying to listen to people, trying to identify the problem, building personas. Yeah. And yeah, of course, you need to understand their needs. And then, of course, you need to create campaigns based on those audience. So, for example, you are targeting a student. Of course, you're gonna create something that can be relevant to those to the students. Yeah, so it's really important to tailor like the message or the offer that you do for this segment. So here, for example, for this all-female campaign, even though we did like a market study and also we try to be closer to customers and even through the support center and so on, we already found that there is like a need for the service. And since it's actually like a new concept in the country, this campaign was not only like targeting women, it was also targeting also males, because at the end, they are like the fathers of these women, husbands, sons. Yeah. And in general, when it comes to the age, let's say 18 to 70 years old. Okay. So after you understand and you define your target audience, it comes the third step, which is creating the right message. And here, of course, it comes the stage of how can you actually like come up with ideas to actually deliver this message. And for this campaign, it was not just a new service, but it was actually like a new concept here. So that's why we did that. Like the slogan of this campaign, it was actually like ready for pink. And here, yeah, so here, when it comes to the ideas and how can you like curate the message, there are some things that you can do. For example, don't limit yourself to one industry or one source. So one of the things that we do, trying to get ideas for any campaigns or any marketing activities, is that we go to the competitors, let's say the international brands, for example Uber, Lyft, trying to see what do they do in social media, let's say, in any campaigns that they do, and you can really learn a lot from them. But here, yani, don't limit yourself only on this industry. Sometimes you can go to the other industries. So for example, there are some accounts that we always follow them, even when it comes to the food industry, for example, the cars industry. Yeah, so you can get ideas even from them and trying to link it to your business. Also, one of the tips is define keywords and try to link between things. So for the all-female, for example, we try to think about what women in general are focusing on. So women really like to, for example, to achieve, they have dreams, they have different things. So we tried to link those keywords with the service itself so that we can come up with any idea or like any message that we deliver when it comes to the all-female service. And yeah, don't limit your imagination. You can always go crazy. You can do different things to capture people. And there are like different sources that you can actually use to get ideas. For example, we have the Pinterest. You can get different ideas there. Ads of the world, it's a very rich source when it comes to ads from around the world. And also YouTube, you can see different things. Just for the sake of time, I'm not gonna really open the spreadsheet, but here you will actually like find how we were actually brainstorming for this campaign, and it's like an Excel sheet full of keywords, full of different things. Yeah, so you can always like start step by step, and then like the message or like the idea, it will be built at the end. After that, it comes, of course, the campaign, and it comes the implementation part, in which I'm gonna pass the mic to Maymana right now.
Thank you, Marwa. So after you create the idea and the content for your campaign, it's time to implement your thoughts and your ideas. So if we go to the implementation part, as Marwa mentioned earlier, we have made the 360 marketing campaign or the strategy. So let's go deep into each one of these aspects. So let's start with the app. In our app, we mainly focused on two things. One is to make the service visible and accessible to our target. And the second thing is to do an announcement to let people know that we have a new service and they should try it out. So this was the main two things that we did with our app. The other thing is the influencers. Marwa, if you can go next. So with the influencers, we have two main objectives in the beginning. One is to invite them to the official launch, and then we have to get user-generated content. So we were thinking about ways, creative ways, attractive ways to do this, and we came up with the idea to have a box with the different things that women especially can enjoy and like and use during their days. So if you can see here, the pink box, which has inside like 6 boxes, we have stickers, we have a playlist, we have a game, we have a coffee capsule, snacks, and so on. We also have a notebook, a bag. So all of these things usually women like and use during the day, with an empowering and creative message to help out the message that we want to deliver. So this package or this box was sent to around more than 150 influencers, and the result that we have more than 50% of those influencers actually mentioned us, and they took a picture, took a video, talked about the campaign, talked about the service without us mentioning or telling them to take a picture. And this is called user-generated content. Marwa, if we can go next. Okay, so with the influencers, we have few tips to share. Is if you have a giveaway, you need to search for a good and efficient print places, as this box will, or this product will present your brand. You need to have a decent and a good quality material with the minimum cost. So you need to look for alternatives and then choose which one is the most effective option for you guys. The other thing is to create interactive content. People usually like to have something to interact with, like what we did here. We did a game. It's like a puzzle where girls can solve it, and then they can take a picture and then share it to their followers. Another thing is to have or find human resources. These kind of things usually take time and take effort, from the idea part to the implementations to organization to distributing those boxes. So you need to find a team, a human resource, to help you come up and deliver this message. Another thing is to focus on mini influencers as well. Many influencers have their own target, their own audience. So you need also to target those people to reach their audience. It will not cost as much as the big influencers, but it's absolutely effective as well. You can always go crazy. I mean, go crazy, have good ideas, new ideas, explore things. It may not work in the first time, but it will work on the next time or the time after. Marwa? So another thing is the social media part. What we did in social media, we have 3 main things. One is the pre-event, which we had a registration post tweets to gain drivers before the actual launch. And then we have teasers to let people know that there is a new thing coming, a new service is coming. And then we have the event coverage and during the event thing, which is the event coverage and the educational things that we did on social media. For example, how to use how to use the new service, how you can book the new service. You need to know and guess what the customer will ask, and then you need to post it before they even ask you. What we did after is the registration, as well as we had a very high demand from the first beginning. We had a bit shortage in the number of drivers, so we were focusing a lot on registration in terms of new drivers. Overall, in this campaign, we need to have everything as comprehensive. So we changed the picture profile of our accounts, the header, to match the campaign overall. Marwa? Okay, so in terms on digital ads, we did two types of digital ads. One, targeting the customers to let people know that there is a new service and they can try it out. The second thing that we focused more on it is the driver registrations. As we can see here is one example of driver registrations, where we had impression almost 1 million impression, reach around 400K results, which is click sign up 17K. Okay, and then the cost is around $400. So the cost per results, it's actually 0.02, which is very effective for the results. If we can go next, we can see another example. What we learned from this experience, that when we target drivers are affecting a lot by the other drivers' experience. So if we want to target and gain new drivers, what we found effective is to let drivers speak about their experience, to let other people know about the job, how do they feel about it. So this one was one of the most effective approaches we did in this campaign. Can we go next? You can show it. Okay.
It's mostly in Arabic, so I think also for the sake of time, it's better we don't show it. But yeah, it was about like driver's experience.
So let's go to the main event, which is on the ground. We were thinking about the date, when will it be? And then we decided to make it on the Women's International Day, which is 8th of March. We chose a location, which is a public location in Mall of Muscat. The objective of the event were actually to have a service official launch, and then we have a car reveal, let people know how the vehicles will look like, and then to increase awareness to female drivers to join us to be a driver, and of course to make a marketing buzz. To make a marketing buzz, we have invited press, 4 big influencers, and as well the mini influencers where we distributed the boxes to. A quick tip here, it's always good to invite officials so people can trust and appreciate your service, and you can get more credibility in terms of the service itself. Can we go next, Marwa? Here is a quick video of how the event went. There is no sound, I believe. Yeah, so this is a quick video how it went. We can go now to after the campaign with the Sheikha.
Okay, back to me. After the campaign, this is part of the event itself. So during and after the event, there were a lot of press going on. A lot of newspapers talked about the event and about the concept of the female taxi and how it is a new thing. But also something that people needed in Oman. So really, it created a buzz. And honestly, most of the press, they didn't come by themselves. So we invited them to the event, especially the most known ones. We invited, I think, 5. And then the others wanted also to write about the female taxi. So we started with some of them to influence and attract the others to come and talk about the female taxi. Let's jump to the results. So we started with the female taxi as an idea. We used the data to help us to create a marketing campaign. And with all of the hows of the campaign, we were betting that this campaign is going to be effective. And thank God, with the hard work and with the all of the marketing ways that we utilized for this campaign, are the results. And even though the main objective of this campaign wasn't to have the direct, bookings or completed bookings, but it was for more about like the awareness, letting people know about the female taxi, the concept of the female taxi, because we knew that we need to educate the people first. How to order the female taxi? What is a female taxi? What is OTaxi and how it's linked to the female taxi? So we wanted to answer these questions, but even though this was the objective, it leads to good results. And the good results, we knew that they are good because of the KPIs that we set. So we have the 4 KPIs that we really cared about: the app downloads, number of new users, number of total bookings, and the number of the completed bookings. So we didn't just jump to the completed bookings and that's it. No, we wanted to know the number of total and the number of completed bookings, because we wanted to know the conversion rate and how to attract the people who didn't really complete our the ride. All right. By completed, we mean ride and purchased with us. Okay. So as you can see, there is a growth in most of the KPIs, all of the KPIs actually. I think about 30% increase in the app downloads. You can see the jump. The number of new users increased to 11K, especially the female new users. Total bookings increased to almost 50%, and almost 40% is an increase in the completed bookings. All of this is the result of the thinking behind with the customers, and analyzing the data and knowing how to really implement this through all of the marketing channels or the marketing ways. Can we go next to other results as well? So since March 2021, which is the when we launched the event, till November 2022, this month we have 10K rides per month. We've reached to 3.6K active users, which is quite a good number for Oman. More than 250 drivers. These are the number of drivers that we attract. And this was the most challenging thing in the female taxi for us, is how to attract this female from a culture that it's a bit care about their privacy, security, and stuff. We know that all cultures do, but especially in the Middle East, there is a bit complicated. It's a bit complicated when it comes to women going in and really practicing the job of transportation in Oman. And we've reached into 3 main cities. We started with Muscat because of the success that we had in Muscat. We expanded into other regions and I would say cities, and we really we are looking forward to expand more as we are getting more and more calls and requests from women all over Oman to have the female taxi there. So yep, that's the end of it. It was quite a ride for 2 years, but overall, I think all of this marketing mix helped us at the end of the day. Yep, now we can go to the questions.
Yes, thank you so much, ladies, for such an amazing presentation. It was extremely informative, really, and I think it was extremely useful for everyone because you open up how you do this and how you reach these heights, how you get to the top with your services, and you really highlighted the importance of marketing and the importance of research before doing anything. So let's go to the questions, and I'm just thinking, let's go to our Q&A box now, and then I'm going to go to the chat. So the first question is from, again, Garima Gupta. He's the founder of women-driven cabs for women, and recently started operations in Delhi. And unlike Europe and other countries, it's still a taboo for India if women drives. I'm an ex-Uber who understands this industry. I did my research. The question is, why do you think women-driven cabs for women are important? And there are some other questions, and I'm going to get back to them.
Why do I think that women riding women is important? I think it goes back to the needs of women. And through the research that we've done, we know that women really care about their privacy, really care about the security, enjoy talking with the women, and they feel a bit relaxed and the ride a bit enjoyable with the women. I think all of these factors is playing a crucial role of women choosing between a male or woman driver. Usually, they would go to the female driver because of these reasons, and also like in general, we've had a lot of good feedbacks. Like girls would say, now I can, when I'm sad, I can talk to someone through my ride. I can put my makeup on. I can listen to the music that I want. Usually, especially again in this culture, it goes back to the culture. But I'm talking about women overall. We enjoy these things, and because of that, we enjoy the ride with a woman that really understand our needs. So. It goes back to the nature of women, to how we think, but also to the culture and how it is operating.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you, Sheikha. I know, ladies, do you have anything else to add, or should we go to
yeah, I think Sheikha, did the job well.
Yeah.
Next question is to Marwa.
Okay, Marwa. So, which other countries you feel, which countries do you think need these services, like women for women?
Okay. I think mostly like any country that is more, I don't know what's the word, but they have like a private culture, I think, where women really face like different problems, and mostly like the Arab countries, mostly. And most of these countries actually face such issues, but I'm sure that also like the other countries, they also face this too. And considering Oman and with our culture and everything, we knew that women are really like facing like different kind of problems, and such service can actually like solve these issues. Yeah, so I cannot really like say which country exactly. I believe there are many countries, Arabic or non-Arabic countries, that they need this. Yeah, and it depends on the culture mostly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see that there is a trend for women-to-women taxis overall, like globally. As we can see, like for example, big companies like Lyft in America, they just introduced a women riding women service, And I think, yeah, it comes to private countries mostly, or countries that really, or women that are really concerned about their security and safety, but also globally there is a trend for women to drive women.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that because like I live in Poland, Europe, but we also have these services. They were introduced like maybe a couple of months ago, so not a long time ago, but we still have it, and it's really, really convenient sometimes. So I agree. That's kind of a global trend, definitely. Then the next one is about creating a community. Like, what is the whole purpose and initiatives being taken to support or to create a community of these women-to-women services? And
the support, like with the community, you mean, or like the other, like the government? Is this?
I think it's more about the community, but I guess that you can also talk about the government because you know how important it is to get the support from the government as well.
Okay. It was really, really hard in the beginning, because it's always hard in the beginning, isn't it? With any project, actually. But with us, it wasn't easy to convince the female to become a driver in Oman. It was really hard because women in general are not even driving taxis. Even by law, it's legal. Like they can do it, it's there, but culturally we don't do it. It just started with OTaxi, with like women actually being involved in the transportation sector. It was really challenging. The community wasn't really helping in the beginning, to be honest. All right. However, we really worked hard on of like spreading awareness about what is the female taxi, how you can gain a lot of money driving with the female taxi, how this job is actually really flexible and it suits you as a woman from like flexibility point of view, from a privacy point of view. But also we started to have this a lot of workshops with the women. Word of mouth started to do a job, and then because of word of mouth, people started to know a bit about the female experience as a driver with OTaxi. And this is why also we went to as Maymana said, we want to talk about the experiences of the female. We wanted to put it in a video, put it in an audio, put it in a text, how these girls can really, get more money in a good job. So, getting the women to talk about their experience from heart to heart was the most effective tool so far. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Marwa, Maymana. Anyone to add anything else or?
Nothing from my side. I think Sheikha answered it well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Sheikha, for the great answer. And the next question is also from Garima about the India as a market. And I suggest, because Garima, they want to connect with you after the webinar. So I suggest you just to do that and talk about like the perspectives of your collaboration, maybe in India, etc. And we will just move to the next question just to, save time and have time to answer all of the questions that we have. The next question from Anas, I kind of responded to it. It was about the budget to build this system, to build the ride-hailing system. Anyone interested? Again, we will share like the email where you could send your message, or you can just visit the website on the app, and there you can learn more about how to build the ride-hailing system. The next question is again from Garima. What was the reason and objective of OTaxi? I believe it is connected to a female. So what was the reason to launch this service? And just to add to this question, what challenges did you face? How did you deal with them when you launched the service?
Okay, so you're gonna answer it or can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if it comes to the all-female service specifically, I think Sheikha even already talked about it in the beginning of the presentation. One of the things first we noticed that our users are mostly males. So it really like triggered us to know, okay, why women are still not using like taxis. This is one of the things. But also we've noticed like it's mostly like it comes from even word of mouth. Like some issues that women face when it comes in their daily life and any needs that they have going to their jobs, facing some issues with their kids or anything. So all these questions or like all these things, it really trigger us to know, okay, maybe there is like an opportunity here. So that's why we did like the research trying to identify the problems or like why women are not using the taxis, and maybe they don't need it actually, but maybe they do, so it can be like an opportunity. So yeah, after doing the research, we managed to know that okay, there is actually a potential here. So that's why, yeah, we moved forward for this one. We fight a lot trying to get the approvals because again, it's actually like a new concept here. It wasn't even allowed by law for women actually to drive taxis here. So yeah, this is basically why did we initiated this service. The challenges here, it comes mostly with the female drivers, again, with the culture and everything, even though people here, like there is a high percentage of women actually driving cars. But when it comes to taxis, and especially before, there is actually like a bit of, I can say like a bad reputation when it comes to taxis. And this is actually like one of the things that OTaxi was able to solve it a little bit. In the past, people were really like, they were really looking down to people who are actually driving taxis. But OTaxi came to change this idea, and it was actually really successful in general. Yeah, and even for women, like it wasn't really comfortable for women actually to use the regular taxis because the one who is driving is male. Again, when it comes to culture, when it comes to safety, and when it comes to different cases that happened in the past. So yeah, so even like the idea of this job, that someone is driving a taxi, it wasn't really like people were looking down for this one. So one of the challenges that we face, yeah, when it comes to attracting the female drivers, because of the culture, and also sometimes because of the I can say even when it comes to financially, even when it comes to their cars, because here even when it comes to the cars, it needs to be branded. And some of the women, okay, I have a car, I would like to work here, but I don't want to paint my car. So this is also like one of the challenges that we face when it comes to this. Yeah, mostly I can say the most important challenge, yeah, this one is to attract drivers to the service itself. I don't know if you have any other things, Sheikha,
No.
away from the drivers.
No, I think you said it well.
Thank you so much, Marwa. A really great answer. And so, guys, you see what you can do with the right marketing strategy. You can really break the walls. Basically, like having these walls from the government, from the culture. But you can make it if you do it right. So, thank you. The next question is from Edmund. Are you franchising?
Well, not yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah,
That's my diplomatic answer.
Some great news. Okay, good to
Yeah.
know. Thank you so much. Yeah. Awesome. So the next question is from Gideon. Do you do market segmentation for each service type you have, like for economy, van, and so on, or like do you treat them separately or as a whole when you do campaigns?
No. Okay, Marwa, you can go.
You can say it's fine. You can say.
Okay.
Okay, so we do different kind of segmentations, yeah, when it comes even to the services, because at the end, each service is serving a different kind of needs. So for example, the van, we mostly when we promote the van, we go to like the family side. Okay, you can go with your family, or when it comes to the airport. So we like create a different kind of message. And even when it comes to how we target them, where we target them, it's also very important to tailor the service with the need itself. So yeah, we did different kind of campaigns, and it was targeting different kind of customers with different kind of services. So yeah, it's very important to divide like your campaigns based on what is like the message, or what is the need that you are trying actually to satisfy. Yeah.
Thank you again for a great answer. So segmentation is the answer, basically. Yeah, you do segment, and when you approach different audiences with different messages, it's just you just hit the target, you hit the right target, and people respond
with a reasonable cost as well. So that will save a lot of cost for you, just understanding and analyzing the concept, the segment, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. Great, thank you. The next question is, what is budget in year for marketing? The question is from Valence.
Well, it's hard to say, actually. It depends. So for the female taxi, it was very different than other services. And also for the female taxi, because there are a lot of factors that really played on the budget. In the beginning, and at this beginning of any project, the budget is always higher than what you expect it to be, usually. For example, for us, one of the things that we didn't really expect in the beginning was the painting of the cars. So some of the segments wanted to. So we have segments of the female drivers. We have female drivers who really wanted to join, and they are willing to paint the car, and they are ready to paint the car financially. We have a segment who didn't want to paint their cars, all right? And this segment, we didn't want to lose them, especially in the beginning. So what we've done, we've used our marketing budget for the painting of the cars to help them, because we didn't want we didn't want this as a reason to not work as a female taxi. We want them to try, and this was a push for them to try it and to increase the awareness by the painting of the car. And also painting the car actually played for the awareness. It's I would say a free advertising running on the streets, and that has an influence on the awareness. Instead of like putting it on a billboard, you can put it in the car. And from there, it's also you can start thinking about other opportunities. I don't know why this came into my mind, but I want to say it. I want to say it as an opportunity as well. So we've noticed that this is very helpful for people putting the logo in the car is very helpful for people to know more about the female taxi. So we started to also we started another project, which is ads on the cars, which is a revenue generating that will help us to spread more awareness about OTaxi. So we have all of these ideas comes on with the challenges that you come through, and having an open mind that is always searching about opportunities is really great when it comes to ride hailing. Opportunities are endless, honestly. You can have a lot of things, a lot of ideas. You can serve a lot of segments with the ride hailing by itself. So yeah, back to the question of budgeting. There is no specific budget, but try to be creative. Creativity helps really on reducing the cost, but also don't be like have a budget for expected challenges that are related to the culture.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Marwa. The question of the budget is probably one of the most difficult ones when it comes to marketing. Of course, the more money you have, the better it is, as always. But I agree with you that creativity really helps to save on
it does.
Money. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Great. The next question is from Alexander. How the client structure, male/female, changed after introducing a female service?
Okay, I'll leave the floor for Marwa first to answer. Do you want to answer, Marwa?
What was the question? What was the question? Sorry, I didn't see it.
Yeah, so if we're talking about the client structure, like how many male and female clients you have, how did it change after you introduced the all-female service?
Okay, yeah, we witnessed an increase in terms of the female users. This was after launching the service. I'm not really sure, I cannot really remember right now the percentage, but yeah, I remember
50-50.
we did like a comparison. Yeah, we did like a comparison. 50-50? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yes, because we did like a comparison like before launching the service and after launching the service till now. And yeah, we try to compare between them. And there are, of course, different tools of how can you do that. We used Google Analytics to track this. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. But also, can I add on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, as Marwa said, the number of the female riders has increased to almost 50-50, male and female. But at the same time, the number of the male audience or customers increased. And this was really surprising because, you know, when a segment attracts another segment, when, for example, a daughter who's studying in the university and she's using the female taxi would go home, tell her father about the experience. Her father will, oh, I trust this service, and then I'm going to use it. So we've seen an increase also in the male segment as well. And it's always like this. Whenever you're attracting a segment, it always attracts another segment that it's usually surrounded by that segment.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
A chain reaction. So yeah, you see, it's just getting it right with one audience. You can get it right with another one. Cool.
Sure.
Thank you so much. And the next question is also from Alexander. Is there option for women to provide ride services to unspecified gender user? Like, do you have these things, or like how does it work for you? I don't know.
Yeah, so basically here it's only the service is only targeting women or like families in general. It's actually by law. So like the only way here of how can we ensure that those women drivers are actually taking the right audience is that the drivers themselves, we train them, we make them aware about this. So they have the right to not accept that ride if it was if the customer, for example, was male. But yeah, because I've noticed there are some in some countries where women can also take males. But again, it's in our country, it's actually based on a law that, okay, women take women. But for men, yeah, they can take a different kind of users. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the next question is about your best practices. Do you plan to share them with people in other countries? Do you plan to, create a marketing course?
Well, why not? I mean, we would love to.
That sounds like a good idea. Like maybe we will connect with you guys and do this together.
Yeah.
It's like we are doing this webinar. Great. So then another question is again like regarding connecting you with Garima. I'm gonna like get back to this question after the webinar. So to make sure that you are able to connect. Then like does women face safety issues while they're on the road in your country?
Yes. They face sometimes even harassment from men, which is, I think, something that like all the countries they face it. Of course, it differs from country to another in terms of how high the phenomenon is. But yeah, women face safety issues on the road. Either they are driving or not driving. Yeah. So I think this kind of services, it really can bring more safety, make women more comfortable moving around the city. Yeah. I hope
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. I agree. When you're driving with women, it's you feel safer, and it is actually safer, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question from Vanance. Are you profitable? Are you profitable at the moment?
Well,
Again, favorite questions about the budget, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We can say after 2 years we are profitable finally.
Yay, that's great.
Yes.
That's great. Congratulations, guys. This is amazing. And this is really, that was quick, I would say.
Yeah.
Great. Then we have the last question from the Q&A box, but I see a couple of questions in the chat as well. We will cover them and we will just wrap it up, I think. So is there a specific type of car or color of the car that you prefer since you're branding pink?
Well, in our case, it wasn't really a choice because the color of the car it was, and not the model, but um, I mean the year of the manufacturing of the car was also specified by the government, so it wasn't a choice for us. Otherwise, we would make it as a private car, you know, for girls to come in as well and join us. It would be much more easier. But yeah, it was the government choice in our case.
This is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're done with the questions from the Q&A box and the chat. How can one offer to conduct a marketing research on current customers without incentives? So how do you do this? Like, is it possible to do the research on your customers without like giving them anything?
Okay. From my point of view, of course you can. Starting with, as I said, building a good relationship with your customer, it will really eliminate this incentives method really, because when the customer really think that you care about them, and at the end of the day they want to use the service, right? They are your customer, they want to use the service. Why not using the service in a better way? And if you really send them the message, the right message of, oh, can you please help me on making this service a better one? So you can, for example, do questionnaires for them, a lot of questionnaires, like catch them whenever they are in the app, after they have ride with that specific driver, for example. Like in a quarterly base, you can send them like a big questionnaire with, for example, we have this survey that we call it the rich survey, which is we do it quarterly to understand the customers, and we really go mass. And sometimes we do incentives, but most of the time we don't, and incentives can be really like 10 or 15% off after you answer the questionnaire. So yeah, and also you can, by building this relationship and talking to customers after they, for example, we have this system. I'm going to give this example. We have the people who rated, I mean, the ride with 1 or 2 stars out of 5. We call them the next day to understand why did they rate for 1 or 2, and after that, we start building this relationship with talking with them, and because of this, it gives us more insights about how they think, what do they need, and so forth. Sometimes we go and meet like face-to-face meetings with them to understand them as well. And again, you can do it without incentives, but you can do it with incentives that does not really cost you a lot. For example, a cup of coffee, that would be really good. Yeah.
Indeed.
Marwa, do you want to add on something? Because also Marwa, she is the CRM manager. So she really is the one who cares about the relationship between the customers and OTaxi.
Yeah, I think you summed it up well, actually. Yeah, it's not always about the incentives. Sometimes it's just keeping the customers closer to you, and making them feel that they are actually important, that their input actually is valuable. This could also help. Yeah.
Indeed. I do completely agree with you on that. Like given this feeling of importance, like this is everything that people want usually in their life, and this is the biggest gift that you can give them, make them feel important. So this is already enough, just asking for opinion, like what do you think? It's good. Thank you so much. It was really interesting to know how you do this, and there are so many ways that Sheikha mentioned how you can do this research on customers. So the next question is probably the last one, but I'm not sure. Let's see. So considering the focus on women, what are some of the safety features does your female driver have to ensure to ensure their safety as drivers?
Safety as drivers. So this is overall the same for the male and the female drivers. We have the training session for them, and during the training session, we highlight the importance of the seat belt, the importance of having a charger, because it's important to stay connected. For example, in the car, we have the SOS on the application as well. We are there 24/7 for all of them, the male or the female drivers, as a supporting system for them. These are mostly the safety features that we really highlight.
Anything to add?
Nothing
Okay.
from my.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Actually, I just want to remind you that we had another webinar and we covered a lot of these safety things, these safety measures that can be taken. And we also had representatives of OTaxi there during the panel discussion. So if you want to get this webinar, if you didn't see it and you want to take a look at it, take a look at the recording, just drop a message at marketing@on the app, and I'm going to share it with you. But I think this was, in general, this was the last question, because we covered pretty much everything from the chat as well. We have a lot of kind words to you ladies. Everyone admires you, and you are doing an amazing job, really extremely talented, and what you do, the systematic approach that you take is really amazing. And yeah, let's try to do something else, maybe like the course for others, to show how you actually make it. Thank you so much. And I'm just about to wrap it up, and I'm gonna share my screen with you, because there is something else that I need to show you before we continue. Okay, just want to remind you guys what we're doing. Like actually, we at Ondi provide a platform for ride-hailing companies, for entrepreneurs who want to launch ride-hailing in their areas. We've been on the market for more than 10 years. We have more than 200 partners in all the different countries, in more than 60 countries. And we do all the different events, and we're trying to educate entrepreneurs so that you can really grow your taxi and ride-hailing businesses. So all the emails in the chat, and of course, as I said, everyone will get their recording, everyone will get the presentation from the webinar. And yeah, I'm going to remind you about the next webinar, of course. And I think actually this is pretty much it. This is everything that we wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say a huge thank you to our amazing panelists. Ladies, you're doing a great job. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today. It was extremely, extremely useful. Really, thank you so much for everything. And thank you so much to our amazing participants. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the discussions. It was really hot today in the chat. Was a lot of discussions here. And yeah, we are looking forward to seeing you during our next webinars, our next events. I wish all of you a nice rest of the day, and I say goodbye and see you next time. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.